Francis Groovers, we're by the steep steps of Lee Hill, the stairway to Leigh-on-sea, and I'm delighted to welcome Mr. Steve Hooker, legendary blues soul rockabilly man. Fantastic.
How you doing?
Good, Steve. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Steve on the scene here at the late 70s when you were with the Heat, I think,
That's
Steve.
right, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you're playing around Europe these days. You're getting around with your stuff.
Yeah, we play in Europe as much as we play in the UK.
Yeah, and you're playing. You're local. You just played down at the ship, but the stripped down stomping band.
That's the current band.
Yeah.
4-piece
now. Or 3-piece when
sort of 3.5 piece. no, it's normally 3-piece, but we have Ali guesting on harmonica at some gigs. For some of the set.
She's great.
When she can make it. Yeah.
And bass player's different from what I remember.
Bass player John. Yeah. He did a few gigs with us a couple of years ago when our long-standing bass player left.
Yeah.
And then rejoined us recently after a succession of bass players. And, it's working out well with John and Brian, the drummer.
Yeah. Brian's been with you a little while.
Brian's been with us for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Brilliant style. And well, when you started out, Steve, it must have been mid-70s, was it? When your first bands locally?
I kind of toyed with it for a long time before I took it out and did it on stage, and I guess I started playing professionally 77, 78,
Yeah.
77.
Takeaway records, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. And then you, when was it? You went more rockabilly, didn't you? A bit after.
Well, after that we had a kind of a garage band, the Shakers, and that lasted for a few years, and we did very well in Europe, particularly in France.
Yeah.
Released a couple of albums, and then I joined a rockabilly band with a bloke called Boz Bora.
Yes.
Who played with the Polecats and now plays with Morrissey.
That's right. Yeah.
And of course, I'd always liked that stuff. I'd always had one foot in it.
Yeah.
And after that it wasn't possible to do that anymore because he was playing with Morrissey.
Yeah.
And I got another band together, and it was a little bit more that kind of thing for about 10 years, I suppose. You know, we had a stand-up bass and Gretsch guitars and that sort of thing.
Yeah, guitars lovely, aren't they? Yeah.
And then I don't know, for no reason other than it was what I wanted to do. We went back to using Fender bass and we started playing more of the blues and soul stuff.
Yeah.
There's a bit of the rockabilly in this as well still,
Yeah. I love it, one of your songs where you do a refrain from Nutbury City Limits in there.
Yeah. Well, I like doing that. Sometimes, sometimes we do a bit of that, or sometimes we do a bit of Bo Diddley or Chuck Berry or Slim Harpo or something.
Yeah.
When you're doing a 40-minute set or 50-minute set, it's a way of kind of putting some other things in that you like. Just playing around.
Yeah. I love that. One you finish with, real stomping blues, Wolf Farm.
Yeah, that's on our new album.
Yeah, brilliant. What's your new album called, Steve?
Smoking Guitar.
Fantastic. Oh, is that with the French cigarette factory?
Yeah. It was a kind of an idea that the guy Paul Shuttleworth, is an artist as well.
Yeah.
An artist and an artiste.
Yes.
Great artist. He works with me on the graphics.
Right.
Generally, we'll come up with an idea and we'll talk to him about it. And I only like to do stuff when I'm doing stuff with other people. I like them to be happy with it as well.
Yeah.
So I generally throw a few ideas at him and say, which one would you like? Which one would you like to do? And that was one we'd had in our back pockets for ages, and we kind of changed the idea and the title of this album when we were almost on the point of releasing it, and the titles and images we had weren't relevant anymore.
Yeah.
And we had this idea that we'd had for a very long time, and we just thought, well, we'll use that because how many more records am I going to make?
Oh gosh, yeah. That's the worry, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
yeah. Smoking guitar, fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the visuals on that actually, and just thinking, when you started out, you were playing at places like the Grand locally.
Used to, yeah.
Yeah, and you've got the 10 Green Bottles you're playing at.
That's where we play in Leigh-on-sea now,
yeah,
the 10 Green
yeah.
Bottles on the ship. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, was that upstairs at the ship you've played before as well?
We
haven't
have
you?
played upstairs there, and we're playing again there downstairs
Yeah.
in October.
Yeah.
10 Green Bottles, we're playing there again in August, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you're regulars at the Shakedown Festival, aren't you? Every year you seem to be.
Yes. When we can find a good venue.
Yeah.
We don't actually have a designated venue for it.
Yeah.
We've been involved with it since, you know, we played the very first one.
Yeah.
And when we can find, you know, when we can find someone on the seafront that
Yeah.
wants to do it, that'll have us, we go down there and play.
Brilliant. Yeah, I love all the old pics of you playing on the back of trucks
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
years gone by.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's your website has got lots of lovely old photos of
Yeah.
performances, isn't there?
Well, I
And,
suppose that's
memorabilia.
you know
Yeah.
that's what people like to see.
Yeah.
You know, with the internet now, things come and go very quickly.
Yeah.
Sometimes something's only in the public domain for a day
Yeah.
on Facebook,
Yeah.
and then it's gone.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's interested. They, you know, something else. You know, it's nice to keep them up there.
Yeah. Yeah. And mentioning the medium, the sort of visual medium as well, I understand that you've had Hollywood films, that you scored Hollywood films.
Not really Hollywood, but yeah, I've done some bits of. You know, I've got. I had a track in a vampire film,
Yeah.
and there's a film due to be released about the guitarist Johnny Thunders.
Yes.
I've got a kind of a speaking role, and I'm playing a little bit of an acoustic version of one of his songs, and
Oh yeah.
talking about guitars in
Yeah.
that.
What song was that, Steve?
It's most famous one. You can't put your arms around a memory.
Oh right.
And the same director, Danny Garcia,
Yeah.
he's making a spaghetti western pastiche,
Yeah.
and he wants me to be in that. He wants me to play the Jack Palance character,
Oh right.
which is very flattering.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna get
Be
on
quick
with
off the draw.
being on a horse and all that, you know, but very
Get a
nice.
stunt double.
Very nice to be
Jeff.
asked. Yeah, no, I'll do it myself.
Right. Okay.
I'll do it myself. It's something I might be able to use in later life. You know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
might have to make a getaway at some stage, you know,
Get away from the ship in.
or something like that. Yeah. I'll try not to upset people.
That's
like
right.
locally. but,
Yeah. Too right. Yeah. Yeah. And you've got a few gigs in Europe. You've got tours lined up, haven't you?
Yeah. We've got a couple of tours of France and Belgium before the end of the year,
Yeah.
and you know, hopefully we should have some other stuff next year, Germany and so forth. You know.
Yeah. It's been quite regular, isn't it? I've noticed recently that you were sort of tripping at every weekends going out to.
Well, not every weekend, but quite often. Yeah. Yeah.
Good sign.
Yeah.
And I noticed in your musical biography, you played with Stevie Marriott and quite a few.
Yeah,
stars
Steve
on
Marriott. Steve Marriott. I didn't meet him and work with him until the '80s when he came back from America.
Yeah. Was that Packet of Three? Was he in?
Yeah, that's right. He was a very nice bloke.
Yeah.
After the first time, we didn't support his first comeback gig at Dingwalls.
Yeah.
And he asked for us to support him a few times after that because we got on well.
Were you with the Shakers then?
Yeah. Shakers, and he actually got up and played with us at a sound check.
Oh yeah.
Which was I thought the sound man had put like a heavy echo on my guitar, and I realised it was Steve. He'd got up and plugged in, and we were playing "Respect" by Otis Redding.
Oh yeah.
By Otis Redding, and we never played anything, you know, seriously.
Yeah.
Or we had talked about recording together, but it didn't happen, obviously.
No. We're saying about Respect and the soul influences. You're saying earlier that a lot of the stuff you listen to these days is the old Stax sound and.
Well,
soul
I
sound.
kind of guess I always did when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Although I was listening to more of the blues stuff and Bob Dylan, I suppose,
Yeah.
by choice. The music that the other artists listen to would
Yeah.
lead you to other things,
Yeah.
and also people that I knocked about with, you know, people I went to school with, would be listening to Otis Redding, Arthur Conley,
Yeah.
you know, the early ska stuff and
Yeah.
all that. So it's in there, it rubs
Yeah,
off. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
whether you're actually going and buying that album or whether you're listening to it at a party,
It's there, and
it's always, you know, it's always on, it's always there.
yeah. Yeah, and you played with Wilco as well, didn't you?
Wilco, yeah, a lot of times. Yeah.
It's on a compilation. You've got a compilation.
Yes, I've got
retrospective now, haven't
compilation
you?
of kind of 80s and 90s stuff.
Yeah.
Which we've done for iTunes.
Yeah.
Wilco's on that, Boz is on it, and also it's got an unreleased track that
Yeah.
I recorded with Dick Taylor from Pretty Things.
Oh, really?
Which is, you know, sort of
Fantastic.
fun and unusual. You know.
Yeah. What's the retrospective called?
It's called Southchurch Style.
Southchurch. Because you're from
I am
Southchurch,
from
yeah.
Southchurch,
Yeah.
that's where I live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I saw you here, was it the late 70s? You were living in Leigh then, and
Yeah, I lived in Leigh for a couple of I did a couple of stretches in Leigh.
You got out. And
I got out. I don't know if I got out for good behaviour or if they shut me out for bad behaviour.
Yeah. And you were saying that you had studios here, didn't you?
Offices. Yeah. That barber shop down the front next to the ship. That was my office.
Yeah.
In the kind of mid to late 80s.
Yeah.
I used to sit in there and look at the people going over the bridge to the beach.
Yeah.
And wish I wasn't sitting in there, you know.
What were you doing then?
Well, I was kind of doing record production.
Yeah.
Promote, setting tours up for other artists
Oh,
as
right,
well.
yeah.
You know, people like Mickey Jupp, Flack
Oh, right.
and that sort of thing. You know.
Yeah.
With a guy called Dave Hatfield who was also in the Kersal Flyers.
Yes.
You know, good old mates, and we worked together for quite a few years actually.
Yeah.
But, you know, good. He lives down your way now. He
Oh,
lives
right.
in Crewkerne in Somerset.
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm a bit.
So
a bit
I
further down.
don't see a lot of him. You know.
Yeah. And you mentioned.
He's a good old boy. He plays with Chris Jagger now.
Oh, right.
Mick's brother.
Yeah. You mentioned Paul Shuttleworth earlier, talking about the Kersals.
Yeah,
His band are on this afternoon, aren't they? The Ugly Guys.
Yeah, the Ugly Guys. They're very good. They play like the Flying Burrito Brothers kind of stuff. And
not seen them.
they recorded one of my songs actually.
Oh, yeah.
She Talks in a Southern Accent. It was
right.
on their last album.
Yeah. Oh, look out for that. Hopefully you'll play that this afternoon. You're going to be down there later?
Yes, yeah.
Good one.
Good one. Yeah, when I put my stuff in the car. You know, so forth. Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, it's fantastic to meet you today. I mean, I
likewise.
last saw you in 77, but we were both younger then, weren't we?
Yeah.
Superb stuff. Thank you so much, Steve.
No, thank you.
That's brilliant.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Cheers. Thanks, Steve.
Cheers. Thank you.